Welcome back to our channel. If you like content like this, please push the subscribe button to help us out. Quentin Tarantino. The name alone conjures images of cool dialogue, non-linear timelines, and, well, feet. But more than anything, it brings to mind violence. A very specific kind of violence. It's stylish, it's shocking, and it's always memorable. We're not just talking about a simple gunshot here. We're talking about geysers of blood, limbs being severed, and conversations that end in a sudden, brutal explosion of action. Over his incredible career, Tarantino has orchestrated a cinematic ballet of brutality. Let's look at the numbers because they are honestly staggering. Across his first 9 films, there are over 560 on-screen deaths. That's an average of over 60 deaths per movie. Some are quick, some are agonizingly slow, some are played for laughs, others for pure gut-wrenching horror. It's a catalog of carnage that has few rivals in mainstream cinema. This isn't just mindless violence for the sake of it though. That's the key to understanding Tarantino's work. Every act of aggression serves a purpose, to define a character, to raise the stakes, to comment on the very nature of violence in film itself. He uses it like a painter uses a specific color on their palette. So, the big question arises. Which of his films stands as the most violent? Let's start at the beginning. 1992, Reservoir Dogs. This was Tarantino's explosive arrival on the scene. The film is famous for what it doesn't show. We never see the diamond heist itself. Instead, we are thrown directly into the bloody aftermath. The violence in this film feels raw, real, deeply unsettling. It's not flashy or operatic, it's grounded and ugly. The film's most infamous moment is the ear-cutting scene. Mr. Blonde tortures a captured police officer, Marvin Nash. He's played with chillingly casual sadism by Michael Madsen. Mr. Blonde dances to "Stuck in the Middle with You." The genius lies in what Tarantino hides. As Mr. Blonde begins to slice the officer's ear, the camera pans away. We only hear the officer's muffled screams. Then we see Mr. Blonde holding the severed ear, talking into it like a phone. That restraint makes the scene more horrifying. The final Mexican standoff is chaotic. Nearly everyone dies. Messy, tragic, and unglamorous. This film established Tarantino as a boundary-pushing director, setting the stage for the stylized bloodbaths to come. 2 years after Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino returned with Pulp Fiction. This film changed everything. It has its share of brutal moments. The violence here is often sudden and often shocking. It punctuates long, rambling conversations, and more about the explosive consequences of living a life of crime. The violence can be darkly comedic. Think about the accidental shooting of Marvin in the car. The scene that best encapsulates this is the apartment confrontation. Jules and Vincent, 2 hitmen, professional and cold. They retrieve a briefcase. Jules's Ezekiel 25:17 speech is iconic. The violence, when it erupts, is swift and brutal. A 4th man bursts out of the bathroom. He fires wildly and misses every single shot. The bullet holes in the wall behind them are proof they should be dead. Jules sees this as divine intervention, a miracle from God. Vincent calls it a freak, 1 in a million chance. That event becomes the catalyst for Jules's spiritual awakening. The film's body count is only around 7 people, but its violent moments are incredibly memorable. If the violence in Tarantino's earlier films was a smoldering fire, Kill Bill, Volume 1 is a full-blown inferno. This is where Tarantino completely unleashes his ID, crafting a love letter to the martial arts films samurai cinema, and exploitation flicks he adores. The violence is no longer grounded in any sense of reality. It's wildly over-the-top operatic, and breathtakingly choreographed. The film is a pure revenge fantasy, and its violence is a direct expression of the bride's singular, all-consuming rage. The blood doesn't just trickle, it sprays in high-pressure geysers. The centerpiece of the film is the House of Blue Leaves sequence. The bride, armed with a Hattori Hanzo sword, confronts O-Ren Ishii and her personal army, the Crazy 88. What follows is one of the most audacious and spectacular fight scenes ever committed to film. The bride single-handedly dismantles dozens of sword-wielding assassins in a whirlwind of yellow jumpsuited fury. Limbs are severed, heads roll, and the pristine Japanese restaurant is repainted in gallons of theatrical blood. Tarantino even switches to black and white for a portion of the fight. The total body count for Volume 1 is approximately 75. Its violence as dance, as spectacle, as pure cinema. There is no pretense of realism here. It's a live-action anime, a moving comic book panel brought to life with astonishing skill. With Inglourious Basterds, Tarantino turned his lens to World War II. This is not your grandfather's war movie. This is a fairy tale, a once-upon-a-time in Nazi-occupied France that, well, gleefully rewrites history with a baseball bat and a movie projector. On one hand, you have the brutal, guerrilla-style tactics of the bastards themselves. Led by Lieutenant Aldo Rain, this group of Jewish-American soldiers has one mission: to kill Nazis, and they do so with savage glee, their preferred methods being scalping and bludgeoning. Shosanna Dreyfus, a Jewish woman who escaped the massacre of her family, plans her revenge. As the owner of a cinema, she orchestrates a plan to trap the entire Nazi high command inside her theater during a film premiere, Hitler Goebbels Göring. Her revenge is delivered through the very medium of film itself. A giant projected image of her face appears on the screen. The theater becomes a massive inferno, a funeral pyre for the Nazi regime, and unload their machine guns into Hitler. The body count in the film is high, estimated at over 396, with the vast majority occurring in this single, fiery climax. Django Unchained sees Tarantino tackling America's most sensitive and brutal subject, slavery. This context makes the violence in the film carry an entirely different weight. It's not just stylized action, it's a confrontation with the real-life horrors of history. We see slaves being whipped, we see slaves being branded, we see slaves torn apart by dogs. The character of Calvin Candy, the charismatic but utterly monstrous plantation owner, embodies this evil. It is the Mandingo fighting sequence. Two slaves are forced to fight to the death, for the entertainment of their masters. Later, when Candy learns of Django and Dr. Schultz's deception, his friendly facade shatters. When the violence finally erupts, it is as a glorious, cathartic release. After Dr. Schultz kills Candy, Django is thrust into an impossible situation. What follows is the legendary Candyland shootout. Django, armed with 2 revolvers, unleashes hell upon Candy's henchmen. The blood squibs in this sequence are famously, almost comically, oversized, painting the white walls of the plantation manor in a vibrant, bloody mess. They are a symbolic cleansing. The final destruction of the plantation isn't just blowing up a building, it is the symbolic annihilation of a system of absolute brutality. No other Tarantino film connects its stylized violence so directly to such a profound and painful historical reality. If Reservoir Dogs was about the claustrophobia of paranoia, The Hateful Eight is its spiritual successor, cranked up to 11 and drenched in nihilism. The film traps a group of despicable characters, bounty hunters, outlaws, a hangman, in a single location, a haberdashery, during a blizzard. The violence in this film is not explosive and cathartic, slow, cruel, relentlessly bleak. It's a pressure cooker of a movie where the dialogue is as venomous as any bullet. One of the most talked about scenes involves Jennifer Jason Leigh's character, Daisy Domergue. Physical abuse, verbal abuse. The turning point of the film is a sudden poisoning which leads to a geyser of blood vomit. From there, the film descends into a maelstrom of paranoia and bloodshed. Major Marquis Warren, played by Samuel L. Jackson, delivers a long, provocative, and possibly fabricated monologue, and the small cabin becomes a charnel house. They decide to honor the late John Ruth's wish by hanging her from the rafters. Her death is slow and agonizing. With a body count of around 19, The Hateful Eight is not the highest in number, but its sustained atmosphere of cruelty and its bleak nihilistic conclusion make it a powerful contender. It's time to declare a winner. The film that truly earns the title is, surprisingly, Django Unchained. This may seem like an odd choice at first. The reason is context and very real violence of American history. This real-world anchor gives every act of violence immense weight. They are a righteous and desperate response to an evil that actually existed. They are a symbolic cleansing. No other Tarantino film connects its stylized violence so directly to such a profound and painful historical reality. The violence in Django Unchained is the most impactful because it is the most meaningful. It's the one where the blood on screen feels like it matters most. Thanks for watching, and look for more videos from Dark Skies Ranking in the future.